Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in. We are currently at 370 subscribers. As I stated in my previous video, once I reach 500 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. Thank you all for your support. And I want to say, before we begin this video, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications as it helps my channel. Hello everyone, it's Straight to the Point Tech. I'm back again with a new video. Over today's video, I am going to show you how to maximize the performance on your MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. All right, so one thing I want to do is show you all how to maximize the performance on this device. Some of you may not know, you can actually go into the BIOS and change your device from balanced to performance mode. Now, you may be asking yourself, hey, what's the difference between balance and performance mode on a device? Well, basically, if you change your device from balance mode to performance mode in the BIOS, you're going to get a performance increase when you switch. So it increases what you call the PL1 and PL2 values, which you will see in the MSI Center. So you have your TDP adjustments. I can show you real quick so you kind of have an understanding of what I'm talking about. So basically, if you go into the MSI Center, you go here, hit those check marks, and then you go to advanced settings. If you go to manual, right, you see where it says 30 and then 37, right? So the values will be adjusted. So during most scenarios in gaming, these two adjust depending on like what's going on, especially in AI mode, especially, when you're playing a game that requires a lot of power. These adjust, they fluctuate up and down. But changing it to performance mode gives you higher value as far as TDP. So in other words, it pushes your device to its maximum potential. Now, you can take that with a grain of salt, but in most use cases, it's good. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to put your device in performance mode so you can maximize your performance in the games that you're playing. All right, so first thing you're going to want to do is this, right? Make sure that your device is in desktop mode and not gamepad mode, because if your device is in gamepad mode and not desktop mode, once you get to the BIOS, what's going to happen is basically you're not going to be able to adjust or change anything. So let me show you how to put your device in desktop mode if it isn't. Okay, so if you look to the far right of your device, you'll see a button here at the top. What you're going to do is you're just going to long press it. And now you see right now it says gamepad mode. It populated the gamepad mode. We don't want gamepad mode. We want desktop mode. So we're going to hold it down again. Now it's back in desktop mode. If you can't see that, please zoom in. But that's what I wanted to show you all. So that's how you change your device from desktop mode to gamepad mode. In most use cases, both modes are interchangeable. You can play games in both, but some games require you to be in desktop mode, or some games require you to be in gamepad mode. But what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and boot into the BIOS, and I'll show you that, so stay tuned. All right, so we're going to get into the BIOS. So what you want to do is this, right? You're going to want to go to the start menu, right? And you're going to want to type in the following. Type in reset. I have it set because it's recent, but you want to type in, let's type in, keyboard pops up. We're going to type in reset PC, right? Should come up as a shortcut. Okay. Now, you don't want to go to reset this PC because that will completely wipe your device and you will go back to a factory default settings. We don't want to do that. We want to just go to advanced startup, select reset now, and we're going to go into the BIOS. So once this boots into the reset mode, I'll show you exactly where to go. All right, so after you successfully reset your device into the reset mode, right, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and select the troubleshoot button, right? And then you're going to go to advanced options, and then you want to go to UEFI firmware settings, right? And then hit restart. Now this is going to take us to the BIOS and we'll be able to make changes here, so stay tuned. All right, so now that we are in the BIOS, right, we are in desktop mode, right? And if you want to know whether or not you're in desktop mode for sure, you can move your left stick and you can see the mouse cursor moving. So this is how we know we're in desktop mode, right? So you're going to have 5 options. You're going to have main, advanced, boot, security, and save and exit, right? So what we want to do is we want to move with the left stick, and we want to go to advanced, right? So we want to go and move the mouse cursor over to advanced, move the directional pad to advanced, right? So if you want to navigate between this, by the way, you can just use the directional pad, right? You see how I'm moving it? So go to advanced, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to go down, and I already have it set to performance mode, but change your user scenario, right, to performance mode. So what you can do is just press the A button, right? Move the mouse cursor, move the mouse cursor here, right, where it says user scenario. Press the A button, and you're going to have an option between performance mode and balance mode. What you want to do is select performance mode, right? Hit the B button, which is right here, right? And then the next thing you're going to do is move your mouse directional pad over to the last option, which is save and exit, right? We got it. And then what we want to do is just select save changes, and we want to hit yes, and that's pretty much it. So it's going to boot back to the desktop screen. So stay tuned, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, and voila, there you have it. We are back on the desktop screen. Now, you may be asking yourself, now what, right? You're going to get better performance in your game. So I was doing vigorous research on this, right? Topic via Reddit, etc., right? So you actually get, higher clock speeds when you set the device to performance mode. You also reduce thermal throttling, during intense gaming. So the Lenovo Legion Go, I hate to compare it, but the Lenovo Legion Go has something similar to this. But the problem is AMD and Lenovo had an issue with the device overheating and getting hot. So it was better to set that device to balance mode. Towards this mode, on this device, there are no issues. I can tell you that right now. You're going to get better performance. You're going to notice, consistent FPS when you adjust your settings to your liking. So I really think it's great. And then with the most recent update, you can get at least a 10% to 30% performance increase after making that change. So definitely, I recommend that you set your device to this mode so you can get the benefit of actually being able to play at a higher clock speed and consistent frame rates as well. Just keep in mind with a grain of salt that a lot of games you may have to scale down to 800p. This could affect battery possibly, but at the same time, don't worry about it. You're gonna have an overall good performance. It's just that you can still use the AI mode. You can actually set your device to a lower TDP, which I like to do. So if you want to, right, we go back to MSI Center, you can just scale this down to, let's move this thing. Why is this thing not moving? You can scale this down to 25 TDP and check your performance and see how things are going. But besides that, you're going to get better performance because we set the device in a performance mode. Similar to how, in game settings, you have these games where you can set balance, you can set performance, you can set whatever mode to your liking, basically in order to get either a sustained frame rate or a lower frame rate to increase, overall performance, or to reduce performance, or how intensive your device or your, rig is working. So yeah, I just wanted to show you all that. I think it's important. Well, all right, y'all. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Again, please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications so you know when I upload a new video. The next videos I'll actually be doing testing in performance mode versus balance mode, so you all can actually have a visual and see what the difference is. This is Straight to the Point Tech. I'm out. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Peace.